Hello, I'm Evely, and I will tell you one story. Let's go. In the remote, forgotten town of Hollow Creek, the sky had always been a silent sentinel. But on that fateful autumn night, as a crisp wind whispered secrets through barren trees, something stirred in the heavens. At first, it was a subtle anomaly, a ripple in the starlit expanse that sent shivers down the spines of those who dared to look up. Beneath the calm veneer of everyday life, an unspeakable terror was gathering. Eleanor, a reclusive astronomer haunted by memories of lost love and shattered dreams, was the first to sense the disturbance. While scanning the cosmos from her creaking observatory perched on the edge of town, she noticed erratic flashes dancing along the horizon. At first, she dismissed them as mere tricks of the light. But as the flashes intensified and coalesced into a pattern too deliberate to be chance, a profound dread took root in her heart. This was no ordinary meteor shower. It was as if the stars themselves were rearranging, heralding the arrival of something utterly alien. The following evening, as a chilling silence enveloped Hollow Creek, uneasy whispers and furtive glances became the town's new language. In the local diner, where familiar faces now bore the pallor of fear, stories of missing animals and bizarre apparitions circulated like wildfire. Some claimed to have seen spectral figures drifting among the skeletal trees. Others swore they heard a dissonant chorus, a haunting melody that vibrated deep within the night. The boundaries of reality had begun to blur, and every shadow became a portent of doom. By midnight, a foreboding glow emerged from the eastern horizon. The once familiar landscape was bathed in an unearthly radiance that twisted every familiar shape into something grotesque. Grotesque shadows writhed along walls and windows, animated by a pulsating, eerie light. Then came the hum, a piercing, unearthly sound that vibrated through the earth itself, as if the world were mourning a lost innocence. Driven by a mix of terror and scientific compulsion, Eleanor stepped outside. Each footstep on the deserted pavement was heavy with the knowledge that unseen eyes lurked in the darkness, watching her every move. At the edge of town, where ancient woods merged with open fields, the atmosphere grew thick with an energy both electric and malevolent. The ground shuddered imperceptibly beneath her feet, heralding chaos yet to come. In a heartbeat, the darkness erupted in a violent burst of light. A colossal ship, its surface an ever-shifting mirror reflecting the void, descended silently, hovering above the treetops. Its form defied logic, a twisted amalgam of impossible geometry that seemed to writhe with a life of its own. Time itself appeared to slow. Eleanor's breath hitched as she gazed upward in awe and dread. The alien craft's hum intensified, merging with the night's stillness until it threatened to shatter her very eardrums. As the ship settled over an open clearing, pale, spectral beams cascaded downward, illuminating the terror-stricken faces of townsfolk who had dared to gather in the distance. The light transformed all it touched. Trees twisted into monstrous shapes and the ground rippled as though disturbed by an unseen hand. Panic soon erupted. Screams rent the night as families scrambled in vain for safety, paralyzed by a force beyond their control. Amid the chaos, Eleanor could not tear her eyes away from the unfolding nightmare. Out of the ship's depths emerged silhouettes that moved with an otherworldly grace, fluid and predatory. Each step they took left behind a trace of shimmering darkness that vanished as quickly as it appeared, intensifying the terror of their presence. In that surreal moment, the fabric of reality itself began to unravel. The once peaceful town transformed into a landscape of nightmares, where the line between the living and the dead blurred into oblivion. Shadows, animated by an inexplicable life, whispered forbidden secrets in voices not their own. Amid the cacophony of despair and the anguished cries of those caught in the onslaught, Eleanor's scientific curiosity warred with a primal, instinctive fear. What were these beings? Were they invaders from distant stars, or ancient harbingers awakened from a slumber that predated human memory? As tendrils of darkness crept over every door and window, Eleanor realized with mounting horror that this invasion was not a mere assault on a town. It was an existential rupture. Hollow Creek was only the beginning, a small casualty in a cosmic game of retribution. The alien force had emerged not to conquer by brute might alone but to dismantle the natural order, replacing it with a realm of unending dread. With trembling resolve, Eleanor retreated to her observatory, a sanctuary of science amidst the madness. There, amid flickering instruments and a static-ridden control panel, she began to record every harrowing detail. Her frantic notes captured the shifting geometry of the ship, the unnatural cadence of the invaders' movements, and the palpable distortion of time and space. Each word was a desperate attempt to preserve the truth in a world rapidly succumbing to cosmic horror. Outside, the alien silhouettes advanced methodically through the ruined streets. Their presence was not that of mere conquerors but of orchestrators of an apocalypse, a force intent on rewriting the very laws of existence. As the first hints of a grim dawn illuminated the horizon, the wreckage of Hollow Creek bore silent testimony to the night's terror. Buildings that had withstood decades of storms now lay in ruin, and every shattered window reflected the haunting light of an invasion that was only just beginning. In that shattered silence, as the stars bore witness to humanity's plight, Eleanor vowed to survive. With her notes clutched like a lifeline, she stepped into the alien mist, a cold, unnatural shroud that carried with it the whispers of an ancient, malevolent power. Even as the tendrils of darkness wrapped their icy grip around the remnants of her town, she knew in her heart that the true nightmare was only dawning. Humanity, fragile and defiant, now faced an enemy that had come not merely to invade but to unmake the world itself. As dawn's pallid light struggled to break the horizon, Eleanor braced herself against the coming storm, a storm that promised further, unfathomable horrors in the hours ahead. In the aftermath of the cataclysmic descent, the world had become a macabre tableau of shifting shadows and haunted echoes. Eleanor, her heart pounding like a desperate drum, ventured further into the nightmare, guided by an instinct that defied terror. Every step led her deeper into a labyrinth of chaos, a town once familiar now contorted into an unrecognizable, living nightmare. Streets twisted into narrow alleys that seemed to breathe, and buildings moaned under the weight of unseen forces. The air reeked of scorched earth and a coppery tang of blood, as though the land itself were weeping from the scars of cosmic intrusion. In the ruined town hall, where democracy and order had once reigned, Eleanor discovered a secret too ghastly to comprehend. Beneath crumbling murals and shattered glass, ancient symbols were etched into stone in a language older than humanity, a language that pulsed with a sinister, unworldly energy echoing the invaders' dark hum. As her trembling fingers traced the cryptic carvings, disembodied whispers filled her ears, recounting forbidden histories of civilizations lost to the void and foretelling a cycle of annihilation foretold by cosmic deities. Without warning, the ground shuddered violently, and from beneath the rubble emerged twisted figures, grotesque amalgams of flesh and metal that defied natural law. Once human forms now bore horrific mutations, their eyes glowed with a phosphorescent light and their movements were a disconcerting mix of jerky spasms and unnerving grace. They advanced with a single-minded purpose, as if puppeteered by an unseen malevolence, their hollow gazes reflecting torment and a mindless obedience to an alien master. Amid this surreal horror, a voice from the past emerged. Jonathan, her estranged colleague presumed missing, appeared from the swirling, inky fog. Yet the man before her was not the Jonathan she remembered. His skin was pallid, marked by intricate, shifting patterns that pulsed in time with the invasive rhythm of the night. His voice, now a hollow echo of its former warmth, whispered warnings of the invasion's true nature and spoke of a destiny inextricably entwined with an ancient, cosmic prophecy. Clutching each other in reluctant alliance, Eleanor and Jonathan fled into the dark underbelly of the abandoned city. They found refuge in a subterranean facility, once a bustling shelter during past crises, that now exuded an atmosphere of dread and decay. The corridors, lit only by the sputtering glow of a battered flashlight, revealed relics of a bygone era, tattered diaries, cryptic sketches of celestial phenomena, and blueprints hinting at an architecture that spanned the cosmos. One diary, scrawled in a trembling hand, spoke of a prophecy, a night of the dying light when the boundaries between worlds would shatter and ancient beings would reclaim dominion over a shattered earth. The realization struck them with the force of a collapsing star. The invasion was no random attack but a preordained ritual, an act of cosmic rebirth meant to erase humanity and usher in an era of eldritch overlords. Every creaking echo in the facility, every distorted reflection in broken glass, whispered of a fate long inscribed in the annals of forgotten lore. The diary's final, desperate lines foretold of a convergence of stars, a tearing of the fabric of reality, and the rise of a new order built on despair and cosmic indifference. Outside, the nightmare continued to unfold. The alien abominations spread through the town with relentless precision, transforming once vibrant streets into corridors of desolation. A dissonant symphony of metallic screeches, distorted whispers, and the eerie hum of machinery filled the air. Every shadow promised new horrors, a sudden collapse revealing swarms of insect-like drones or narrow alleys that opened into chasms where time and space warped into surreal, impossible geometries. It was as if the invasion itself were a sentient force, manifesting terror in every fragment of the ruined world. Determined to uncover the truth, Eleanor and Jonathan retraced their steps to an underground chamber that lay at the heart of the facility. The room was dominated by bizarre apparatuses and flickering screens, their indecipherable symbols merging into an overwhelming tapestry of chaos. At its center, suspended in a viscous, transparent fluid, hovered a pulsating sphere of eerie light. The sphere, a beacon of both dread and hope, seemed to contain the distilled essence of the invasion itself. Drawn inexorably toward it, they watched in horror as its glow intensified, casting grotesque reflections upon their pale, haunted faces. Then, with a sound like the scream of 1,000 lost souls, the sphere shattered. A torrent of visions cascaded into their minds, dissolving the boundaries between past, present, and future. In a frenzied montage of images, they witnessed the rise and fall of ancient civilizations beneath blood-red skies, the slow decay of stars into oblivion, and the inevitable cycle of cosmic destruction. In one harrowing vision, Eleanor saw herself, a solitary figure standing defiant against an endless tide of darkness as the universe trembled at the magnitude of her resolve. The revelation was both a promise and a curse, a stark reminder that salvation might require embracing the very horror that threatened to devour them. As the final vestiges of the vision faded, a heavy silence descended upon the chamber. Exchanging a look of grim determination, Eleanor and Jonathan understood that their journey had only just begun. Their path would lead them into the very heart of the alien mystery, a realm where nightmares and reality merged in an unholy communion. With the cryptic guidance of the ancient diary etched into their memories, they ascended from the depths, each step a defiant act against the encroaching darkness. Emerging into a world unmade, they found the sky transformed into a swirling vortex of chaotic light and color. Stars twisted into monstrous shapes overhead, and the moon hung low like a scarred sentinel in a desolate sky. The alien invaders had initiated their most sinister phase, a metamorphosis of the living and the dead into grotesque hybrids bound by a malignant force. Mournful wails echoed from shattered doorways and broken windows, a dirge for a humanity teetering on the edge of oblivion. In this apocalyptic dusk, an unexpected spark of hope emerged. A ragtag band of survivors had gathered, determined to resist the inexorable tide of cosmic terror. Among them was a grizzled veteran, a scholar of occult lore, and a silent child whose wide, terrified eyes belied an ancient wisdom. They spoke of a hidden sanctuary, a relic from before the invasion, rumored to harbor secrets potent enough to repel the alien force. United by desperation and the fierce will to survive, they resolved to journey to this elusive haven even as the world around them crumbled into darkness. As they set forth under the blood-soaked sky, a towering, serpentine form materialized above the ruins, a grotesque embodiment of the alien collective consciousness. Its voice, an unholy blend of digital distortion and primal scream, boomed across the desolation, declaring the inevitability of the new cosmic order. In that shuddering moment, the full extent of the invasion revealed itself. This was not mere conquest but a ritualistic dismantling of the old world, paving the way for beings whose very existence defied mortal comprehension. With hearts steeled by terror and defiance, Eleanor and her newfound allies began their final, perilous trek toward the sanctuary. Each step was a battle against the encroaching darkness, every heartbeat a reminder of humanity's fragile persistence. The struggle for survival had become a war for the very soul of existence, a desperate stand against an ancient, unfathomable terror. In the oppressive silence of a world on the brink, the spark of human resilience glimmered, promising that even amid cosmic annihilation, hope could yet defy the darkness. And so, beneath the roiling, eldritch sky and among the ruins of a once-beloved home, the true climax of the invasion was set into motion. The fate of Hollow Creek and perhaps the entire world hung precariously in the balance as the alien force advanced inexorably toward an unknown destiny. In the unyielding gloom of that final hour, where every shadow whispered of imminent doom, the struggle for redemption had only just begun, echoing across the vast, indifferent void of the cosmos. Thank you very much and see you all in the next video.